Welcome back to another episode of the Aziz Cool Show. And right now we're talking about the topic of wealth and understanding the difference between wealth and money, examining your relationship with money and some of your limiting beliefs so that we can put you on track to identify what is the number one thing holding you back from achieving the results that you're looking for. And the only way we can do that is to identify what's working and what's not working. So this is the Aziz Cool Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you find this valuable, please leave us a review and help boost the channel so we can broaden our impact, touch more lives, transform more identities, so we can all be, do, and have more in this world and the next. So last week, we covered a bit about the basics of what money means, what wealth means. And today I want to speak about the 5 forms of wealth, right? So essentially, the 5 forms of wealth are money, status, freedom, health, and inner peace. So money is obviously referencing your financial wealth. Status is about your social wealth, the influence that you have in society. And generally speaking, as your net worth and your financial wealth increase, your status goes in tandem. So you are able to access different circles and change your environment to interact with people who generally have more power and more influence. And thus, by sharing ideas with them, you have more impact and influence. The third type of wealth is freedom. This is time wealth. So the idea that you have, let's call it FU money, right? So the ability to say no to anything that you don't want to do and be able to be, to a certain extent, master of your time and how you spend it, who you choose to spend it with, and the like, right? And then the fourth type of wealth is your health, your physical wealth. And obviously this goes without saying, it's about what you put into your body, how you exercise, how you take care of your physical needs of your body through your environment, your vitamins, your medication, and obviously the food that you eat. And then the final one is inner peace, which is your spiritual wealth, your conscious impact on the world and on yourself, your personal growth, discovery, and development, and the unlocking of the true potential within yourself that really brings meaning to your life. So most of us tend to just focus on probably the first two, which is money and status. We focus on making as much money as we can in the fastest period of time possible, because money loves speed. And we do this so we can get, the big house and the nice car, so that we have a little bit of status within our community. And then that's kind of the end goal. That's what makes the average person happy. But we don't realize that oftentimes, even some of the most successful professionals, be they lawyers or doctors or accountants, are essentially trading time for money. So even though they may have money and they may have status, they do not really have time freedom, because they are trading their time for dollars. They are not making money while they sleep, and their income and their wealth is directly dependent on how long or how hard they work. And then obviously this tends to have a bad correlation with physical wealth, because the late nights, the burning the midnight oil, the grind and the hustle tends to take its toll on the physical body. And if you don't practice physical care and look after your mental health, you can come to a point where you end up burning out. And without your health, it doesn't matter how much money you have or how high your status is in society, because you're not able to do anything with it. So in some cases, when we think about investing in ourselves, one of my mentors once said, when it comes to my health, I'm willing to write a blank check, because no investment is too big, too large, too impossible to achieve peak health and performance, so I have energy and longevity, so that I can continue to do the work, my work that makes the impact on the world, and elevates wealth creation all around. So our health is very important, and this is an area of our lives that some of us tend to neglect, and others tend to overcompensate by focusing so much on their health that there isn't much time and resources left to collect the money and the status. So, there are always, in everything, there are extremes, but we choose the middle way, the balanced way, because too much of a good thing is a bad thing. Too much of a bad thing is a very bad thing. So let's try and find the middle way in everything that we do. And the final one, like I mentioned, inner peace, spiritual wealth. This is an interesting one because it depends on your outlook of the world. What your belief system is, what ideology you follow. But at the end of the day, wealth that is absent of purpose is empty, because you get wealth in its material form, which is obviously your assets, your stocks, your bonds, your properties, and your whatever other assets, physical assets that you choose to invest your wealth in. But then there's also the emotion of wealth, the feeling of wealth. And this feeling comes in the form of what many of us know as gratitude. I've spoken about this at length before, but it deserves reminding both I and you, because without this feeling of gratitude, the emotion of wealth, wealth in itself loses its luster. Because if you really dig deep and think about it, the only reason why you want to acquire these things in the world, because you feel a certain way, or you have a current lack, and you are looking to want to feel a different way. You want to feel wealthy, abundant, prosperous. And having the things by themselves, the assets, is not enough to get you there. And so once you understand that wealth, the invisible power of wealth, is far more important, far more potent than the physical assets themselves, you will, to a certain extent, become a magnet for wealth. And so this idea of conscious wealth creation, the spiritual intent of wealth, the inner purpose of the impact, your why, becomes such an integral part of the how that you, or the vehicle that you'll use in order to acquire your wealth, and how much fundamentally you enjoy that journey. Because if you do not make that not sort of mind shift, because like mind shifts are motivational, which are temporary. You need to make that identity shift, which is transformational, much more long-term. And if you can't get to that place, you'll constantly be looking for that get-rich-quick scheme, that silver bullet, that magic pill, which actually doesn't exist. Because again, you'll be like the one that's chasing the shadow. So coming back to wealth versus money, what does it mean to actually be wealthy? Well, money is the flow and the transfer of wealth. Money, to a certain extent, is a form of social credits, if you will. And it's the ability to have debit and credit of others' time. So one of the fundamental lessons or rules of money, which I've learned, is that you don't spend money where you make it, right? You need to increase the reach and the impact of your money. And one of the best ways to bring money into your world is to create value for society. Society then owes you something in the future for the same or similar value as you provided in the past. So in this context, money essentially acts as an IOU, right? And the more value you create and deliver, ultimately, the more money you will make. And so one of the greatest pursuits in your life should be to understand how to deliver value at scale so that you can receive all those thank you notes in the form of money. Sometimes we struggle to be good receivers, and we need to learn to be better receivers. Someone offers us something, and we say, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But, you're actually turning away your abundance and your prosperity and the flow of money when you reject it, because ultimately that energy will simply flow to somebody else. So, we need to accept that, profit is amazing and it's a noble thing. And when we have high value and high ticket services, we are essentially just receiving many, many thank you notes. So people decide who they want to send their thank you notes to. And you and I need to learn to be better receivers and say thank you and happily accept more, because we are the only limitation in what we are receiving. All right, so we need to be a good receiver. We don't turn away good energy. We make money and we circulate money. We receive and we give. And we understand that when we give, there is a risk involved, but that risk is directly correlated with opportunity. And so when we risk nothing, we will receive little or nothing. And we need to make sure that we are in the constant sync with the velocity of money. We need to keep it flowing, keep it circulating. We can't be tight-fisted, because when we hoard, we stop the flow of wealth, right? Money has a purpose in society. It is the fuel, right, of the economy. And so we must continue to be an active participant in that circulation of wealth, right? And focus now on the word that I use. I'm not saying spend money. I'm saying circulate money. What does circulate mean? It's a cycle, meaning the money comes back to us in some way. Are we investing in our money and our cash flow in assets that will generate a return on investment, right? So wealth is assets that earn you money while you sleep. So unsuccessful people are doing the wrong things with their money. Successful people are doing the right things with their money. But wealthy people own the right things. I'm Aziz Gul. This is the Aziz Gul Show. Like and subscribe for more. And in the next episode or few episodes, we'll be sharing some of the secrets of wealth and wealth attraction. So don't forget to listen in so you can understand your relationship with money and find the abundance and the purpose in your life, so that you can break your glass ceiling and take your life and everything else to the next level. Be, do, have.